pretty as Michelle all tied up. Or at least I'd say, I mean, maybe it hadn't been, I don't know.
Are everything okay back there?
Here's what we're gonna do.
My goodness.
We're gonna, well, now, Martin, just relax. I want you to look forward, you know, enjoy the experience, okay? Now, just keep smiling no matter what you do. You know, laugh and enjoy the experience of being in here. Now, I don't know, have you ever been in a hula hoop before, Martin? You ever overcome obstacles like this or been in a situation where you've had this much attention from the audience in terms of what you're doing? No?
Never.
Well, do you hope to do that again soon, Martin? Okay.
I would love to.
Well, that's the reason I'm here. I'm policing this experience to make sure everything is okay with Martin and to really get things going here. So, what do you think, Michelle?
I think that's good.
Yeah. Let's see. Martin, step aside.
Oh my goodness. Ah.
How'd you do that?
Just get me out of here.
How did she do that? Wow.
Okay.
That was absolutely
You got me.
fantastic.
It usually takes about 10 minutes. Martin's hanging around to get his coat back, to get the ropes untied and all.
Look at her face. I'm gonna try somebody here for the next one.
All right.
That's great.
No.
Thank you very much, my dear. Now, I have a confession to make.
People in Chile, applauding right there. Antonio in Chile.
Right. Tell them that was Chilean rope we used there. Right. Now, I have a confession to make because I do a lot of magic shows and whatnot around the country, hither, thither, and yonder. And Michelle is my magician's assistant and has been for quite a while. And thank you, Michelle, for being here today and following to perform. And I will tell you this. Now, I'm going to sound like Joe Namath or Muhammad Ali, but I'm really bragging on Michelle, not me. There are only 3 couples in the world who can do that trick. Glenn Falkenstein and Francis Willard, who remembers the Magic Castle in Hollywood, are the ones who taught me how to do it. And there's a Japanese couple that knows how to do that. So for Michelle to be able to do what she just did, I can assure you, is very, very difficult. More difficult than holding the hula hoop. So again, thank you very much. And Martin, thank you. Now, everybody always says, well, the guy wearing the jacket had to be in on it.
Sure.
Right. Martin was not in on it. Okay. What's the point? What's the point? Just because we've got obstacles, we can't quit. We've got to overcome those challenges. When we're trying to bring in the business, we're faced with challenges constantly. And I do that so the next time you think, ooh, this is hard. Think about what she just did. That's really hard. Now let's talk about avoiding cold calls. Avoiding cold calls. And to me, in many ways, that's the most important part of bringing in the business. And I made a little list here of items that I want to share with you that are the key. The first being the best way to avoid cold calls is to make sure that when you contact somebody, it's really not a cold call. And I mentioned Bob DeLoach earlier. He and I have worked together for a long time, and every week we would send out handwritten letters and hand-addressed envelopes to a large number of people. And I got a call one day from Bob Harrell, Jacksonville, Florida. I remember it very well. At that time, we were involved in mortgages and mortgage product, and Bob Harrell said to me, I want you to sell a product for me, a package. So we did, and we made $45,000. And I didn't ask Bob why he hired us until the sale was finished and all, but then I called and I said, Bob, I'm just curious. I'm delighted, I'm honored, I'm pleased, but why did you hire us to do that important job? He said, because every week for 2 years, I would get my mail, and I got a piece of mail from you, something interesting, something relating to my business, something relating to the fact that you know I was a farmer on the weekends, something that I was interested in. That was my way of saying thank you. $45,000, and we proceeded to do quite a bit more business with him to the tune of 150 or so in the next year, all because we sent a letter and took the time to handwrite that letter and handwrite that envelope, and he appreciated it. Now, I don't know how much postage we spent, but we were well ahead of the game in terms of what we spent and what we got back. And I cannot tell you how important it is to soften up the prospect. Now, the second key is referrals. Referrals, referrals, referrals. Everybody tells you to get referrals, but nobody tells you how to do it. Nobody tells you how to do it. It's like decision making is easy, but implementation is hard. Remember that. I make tons of decisions every day, but if I don't implement, I'm wasting my time. It's like a USP and a compelling reason to act. Here's the decision over here. How did I implement? Everybody says get referrals. Everybody says get referrals. They don't tell you how to do it. Okay? Now, I'm going to share with you a couple ways to do it. First of all, know exactly what you're asking for. Exactly what you're asking for. Let me tell you a story. I lived in Los Angeles for a number of years, and at one point a gang member had been arrested and was on trial for murder. It was a sad story. It was in all the papers. And he knew if he was convicted, it was 3 strikes and you're out. For that was before that, but if he got convicted of murder, he was going to be gone forever. But if he could be convicted of manslaughter, he'd get sentenced to 8 years served to be back on the street doing drugs in no time. So he bribed one of the jurors. To make sure that they found him guilty of manslaughter instead of murder. So the trial goes on, lasts 3 weeks, comes down, jury stands up, judge says, "Foreman, do you have a verdict?" "Yes, we do, Your Honor. We find the defendant guilty of manslaughter." Oof, oof. "Oh, thank goodness," says the defendant sitting at the defendant's table, shakes his lawyer's hand, and he's then out on bond before he has to report back because they're going to appeal that. So they're leaving the courthouse. The juror comes out to the bribed, and he says, "I cannot thank you enough. You saved my life. I'll be out in 2 years, and I just can't thank you enough." The juror says, "Whew, I really do appreciate all the money you gave me, but I got to tell you, it was tough. It was tough getting that jury to convict you of manslaughter. Because when we first went in there, the vote was 11-1 to find you innocent." You got to be real careful what you ask for. You may get a very unsatisfactory result. So for the next 2 years, he's beating his head against the cell wall, thinking, "Gee, what an idiot am I?" So I think we're about ready to take a break. One of the things I suggest you all do at the break is introduce yourselves to everyone else here. That's what Jay's organization is all about. We have some special people who, by the way, my friend right back here, Travis Smith, just walked in. Travis, for those of you who are fans of the University of Miami, was the co-captain of one of the national championship teams. He's now a mortgage broker, which has become a very interesting business to be in of late. So there are people like Travis who have interesting stories to tell. We're going to take a break, enjoy it, and we'll be back shortly. Thank you.